A war is no simple matter. It is a time where one must be careful where he treads, for anything and everything can set off a trigger. It is a minefield of one problem leading to another, to more death, poverty, misery, and the only emotion worth living for anymore? Hope. But wars must have reasons, no matter how barbaric or ridiculous such reasons are. They must be there. Many times a war is a result of greed, for gold, expansion, laborers. But there is one very special war. It is one that is so pure, so heart-wrenching, so powerful, and so completely, irrevocably unavoidable that nature sings in praise for it. Said war has support and loyalty. It is vicious and hopeful. It is deadly and ready. Said war contains frustrations and anger in a bottle, fermenting for years and finally ready to pop, with the force like no other. Said war contains fighters who devote everything to a common cause, and for those in the future, an innumerable amount of lives are sacrificed, homes broken, tears wept, graves dug, and anger in the air. But such were the sacrifices necessary, because when a country is collectively unhappy against its leaders, it will stop at nothing to gain what is rightfully its own. That is the power of a revolution. And our country fought one for our Declaration of Independence, for our equality, for our future generations, who we now are, to be happy. And in our Constitution, as said here, we stated that we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote for the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. And this preamble of the Constitution is the very glue that holds us all together, that holds this country together. We are people. We fought. Hell, they fought for us, for their posterity, and we are their posterity. We are their children. They are our forefathers. But how have we repaid them? By going against them. Our equality was important enough to fight the American Revolution. As we declared independence only a century ago, we stated that because all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It states that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, and when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object are designed to reduce them under the absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such a government. It is our duty. Our equality is sacred, but there seems to be blasphemy among us. For are not Negro men the same species, equal to Caucasians, to whites? After gaining freedom that was promised in the Constitution to all men, the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, Negroes are still being hurt by mobs who do not want their equals or just or different skin color to use their freedoms. The Constitution explains how justice will be ensured in our country, but murder is on the skies. It's on the streets, and it seems to not apply to that. Negro men have been charged with numerous untruthful claims and executed based on white Lynch law. Lynch law has been used to inflict punishment by private and unauthorized citizens. Basically, blacks are being lynched, or really murdered, publicly for trying to exercise their newfound freedom. For the first 15 years of freedom, Negroes are murdered by mobs for trying to vote, a freedom they already had. And such murders are looked over with a blind eye. Is this justice? Is this what the Constitution stated in the preamble? Negro families are sacred in their home, are scared in their home, expecting no mercy from whites, being forced to hide and live in fear, waiting for their fates, and waiting for their fathers and the fates of their fathers, brothers, husbands, and sons who die for no reason. Is this domestic tranquility? Is this what we the people fought for? Lynch law goes against all the rights of the people, of the Negroes. As their equality is being wiped away, so are yours. You are giving up your freedom by taking away others, and it is our right, it is our duty to overthrow or fix such a government that supports Lynch law. We are going against our forefathers and our very roots by supporting Lynch law, and it is time for change. Unless you want your freedom gone, unless you love to watch others wallow in misery, to watch others hurt, unless you want to see the unity of this country to break. You will do something. You must. For you will soon have to choose. You have no choice in that. You must choose now, because you cannot stay indecisive. Speak up. Awareness is important. Help others, and most importantly, call for the change. These acts of terror, where black men were charged for murder, for racial prejudice, quarreling, rioting, and miscegenation, that's what the white men did. That's what they did, and then they decided that the black men should be punished for things that they have not done. Is this justice? This is not, and you know it. Because these are all in our Bill of Rights. They're in our First Amendments. We are allowed to riot. We are allowed to have our opinions, but we are not allowed to act on our opinions if they hurt others. Yet that seems to be the case. Being killed in mobs and worse for no reason. What do you say to those families? That their children, that their husbands, that their fathers, that they were just there in the wrong time, that because they couldn't change the color of their skin, it is the white people's right to kill others? Is that what you want? Do you want the unity of this country to break? Because if you don't, you will have to do something, because you will have to choose. Are white people so dense as to believe that they have a right to be superior after everything the country has been through? No, they are not, because there are so many who understand, and you must be one of them as well. It's preposterous. Your help is needed. I stand for you this day, and I plead for those who need our help. I plead for you and your consciousness, and I plead for our country. The time has now come for us to make our own sacrifices, and we will do so willingly. Side note, I am a white man talking to a group of white